click Fix Selected Issues. It will either fix it or delete it if necessary.
Cool, cool. Wow, I never knew that. I feel like I've learnt a lot, and I'm sure the viewers have as well. You also mentioned MS Config. Shall we have a look at that?
Yep, certainly. MS Config is a Microsoft-based program, and to get to this you need to go to Start, All Programs, Accessories, and click on Run. MS Config is already in there, so we just hit Enter. In Vista, there's a quick way of doing this by typing MS Config into the instant search, and as you can see the program is up there already.
Oh, that's useful.
The Services tab, because these are all Microsoft based, it's not wise to switch off any of these, but if you want to switch them off, click on Hide All Microsoft Services and you can switch off any of those. The Startup tab can remove any programs that you don't wish to load when Windows boots up. For example, RealPlayer and QuickTime are very slow booting up and can really slow a computer down. But it's not recommended that Microsoft Windows operating system is turned off.
I can imagine that might cause a few problems.
Yes.
Remember that, viewers, do not turn that off.
And by selecting OK, you have the choice of restarting now to see if your performance has improved, or restart later.
Well, I think you're going to have to restart later because we've run out of time. Thank you for being on the show with us today, Jem. I feel like I've learned a lot. And I'm sure all your viewers now know more than enough on how to speed up your PC. That's all from me, Nicola. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jem and Nick. We'll have more from them next week. Now, Charlie Betts is a self-made musician who has just finished producing his first album from his bedroom, no less. And as you can see, all he needs is a few small pieces of equipment and a computer, and he can record anything he likes. Kind of the scene we're talking about is called chiptune, and lots of people are getting into it. The great thing is that we have him live in the studio with us to tell us a little bit more about his music and his latest current album. Charlie, thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
Looking at that looks really good. So, how long have you been writing and singing?
Not long really, just a year or so. I haven't been doing it seriously for that long anyway, at least.
And what made you get into it? What was your sort of inspiration behind it?
I don't know, when I was younger I always wanted to be in a band, but I soon gave up on that and thought I could probably do it all by myself, so that's what I did.
A lot easier as well.
Yeah,
Less
much easier,
conflict.
exactly.
And looking at that, you know, you've got some equipment, so is it expensive, and what are the kind of key bits that you need, you know, like an amp or whatever?
Well, it can be expensive, but it really wasn't for me. I went for the cheapest equipment I could find, really. The software is quite expensive, but all the hardware, all the microphones and stuff weren't. I didn't spend much money on it. It sounds good, so there's no real need for me to spend more, really.
And do you think that the music you're doing is quite unique as well? You know, like you said, you wanted to be in a band, but in this way, you're kind of creating something a little bit new.
Yeah, I've got complete creative freedom, I suppose. So yeah, I suppose I can do all these. I don't know if it's unique or not, but
No, it is.
In that case, I'm sure it is then.
And what is the genre of music we're talking about? And also, tell me a bit more about your album.
Well, I don't really know what genre it is really. It's
because I mentioned chiptune, which is a kind of you know, using software and computing kind of programming.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of that.
Yeah, it's all, you know, it's all real instruments, I suppose, and I do all the producing on the computer. I don't really know what genre you'd call it. Really, it's just all rock and roll, I guess. To me, I don't think genres really mean much.
And how do you think it will relate to others out there with the kind of general indie stuff that we've got there? Do you think it's just providing just another kind of collection of music that other people may not have thought of doing and listening to?
Yeah, I suppose so. It's all pretty much all my favourite artists, all my influences, all put together and comes out like that. So I don't know, it's all the things that I listen to, which is, I suppose, not very fashionable anymore. You could say so. So.
Brilliant. And just before you go, where can we, you know, when's the album coming out, and when can we, you know, see you live?
I don't know when the album's coming out. It needs to be mastered. I can't do that myself. I need to find someone to do that. But well, tonight I'm playing at the UEA Open Mic, so you can see me there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Sounds great. Thanks for him coming here. Now we're going to go over to Peter, for some creative computing news.
Thanks, Dawn. The release of Mirror's Edge has been released on Xbox 360 and PS3, with a planned release on PC later this year. The game is a first-person shooter that uses Unreal Engine 3, following the likes of Gears of War and BioShock. So far, the game has won several E3 Game of the Year awards. The use of internet mobile phones is on the increase. Figures of 7.3 million people have logged on with the last phones over the last 6 months, an increase of 25% of the market. This is highly due to phones becoming more accessible for the internet, with handsets such as Apple's iPhone and other large-screen mobile phones. The highly anticipated MMORPG, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, has been announced to be developed by Lucas and BioWare. This Star Wars game, that focuses on the story of Star Wars Galaxy 4,000 years before the original saga, this was possibly proved for competition for other MMOs such as World of Warcraft and Warhammer Online. Internet giant Google have been releasing several new products recently. Their new web browser, Chrome, has quickly become popular, gaining 0.74% share of the browser market in just 2 months. Just revealed is their new T-Mobile G1, which is the first mobile phone to use Google Android operating system as standard. This handset, however, is made by High Tech Computer Corporation of Taiwan, but Google's idea of making the operating system that can be used on any phone. This is set to rival Microsoft Windows Mobile operating system, as demand for handsets has soared to unprecedented levels. And finally, Wrath of the Lich King, the new expansion pack for World of Warcraft, has just been released by Blizzard Entertainment. The new pack boasts a level cap of 80, a new Death Knight class and achievement system similar to the Xbox 360 system. Crowds queued for up the midnight release all over the country. Now, I'm Peter Browse, and I think that's all we've got time for on today's news. It's back to Dawn in the studio.
Thanks, Pete. Well, that just about finishes today's show. I'd like to thank our guests for coming in, Alan and Charlie, and I'll leave you with a quote from George Orwell. As I write, highly civilised human beings are flying overhead trying to kill me. We all know that feeling. Good night.